Listen close. Picture this, a rainy Tuesday in Portland, Oregon. 3 years back. I'm Jessica Harlan, 35. Senior cloud architect at Cascade Tech downtown. I'm standing in the hallway of that craftsman house Dad built in 1984. The one with the wraparound porch and the original fir beams he milled himself. The phone rings. Hospice. Dad's gone. Just like that. Heart failure. 1 minute he's showing me how to sharpen a chisel. The next, silence. That house was everything. William Harlan wasn't rich, but he was a master. He framed it with his own hands. No subcontractors. No rush. Every rafter told story. The kitchen island he carved from a single black walnut slab. The hidden compartment under the stairs where he kept his favorite whiskey and my first report card. And out back, the detached shop, his cathedral. Pegboard walls. The scent of linseed oil and fresh-cut pine that never quite left your clothes. The real jewel? A 1969 Camaro SS. Hugger orange. Parked under a tarp since I was 14. This car teaches you about life. Jess, he'd say. Grease on his cheek. You don't quit when the rust shows up. You strip it to bare metal and build it back stronger. We spent 4 years of weekends turning that wreck into something that purred like a big cat on I-84. First drive together. Windows down. He grinned so wide I thought his face would crack. That's what legacy feels like. Kiddo. Before the cancer, Dad sat me down with a thick folder. Will. Trust. Everything notarized. The house. The shop. The Camaro. They're yours. Jess. Your mom gets the retirement accounts. Life insurance. Plenty to be comfortable. But this place? It's the only thing I ever owned that can't be bought or sold. Promise me you'll never let anyone tear it down. I promised. I held his hand while machines beeped their countdown. 3 days later, we buried him on a hillside overlooking the Columbia. Mom, Linda, was shattered. 36 years married. She drifted through rooms like a ghost. I moved back in, slept on the couch, worked remote so she wouldn't wake up alone. Church grief group was her lifeline. That's where Victor Lang entered the picture. 59. Silver fox. Voice like warm bourbon. Widower. He said. Lost his wife to ovarian cancer. Construction background before he retired. Showed up one Saturday with a toolbox and that easy smile. Fixed the leaky sink in 10 minutes. Stayed for coffee. Admired Dad's hand-cut crown molding. Your father was an artist. Linda. They don't make them like that anymore. I should have seen the calculation behind his eyes. But Mom smiled for the first time in months. Real food on the table again. Laughter in the kitchen. I told myself it was healing. 6 months later, she sat me down, twisting her wedding band. Victor and I were getting married. He's moving in next week. My stomach dropped. Mom, Dad's been gone barely a year. Her chin lifted. I'm 61. Jessica. I'm tired of being lonely. He makes me feel alive again. I swallowed every objection. Watched him carry boxes into Dad's study, pushing the old oak desk aside for his lazy boy. Watched him park his Escalade where Dad's F-150 used to sit. Watched him call it our house with that proprietary tone. Then came the kids. Trent, 32. Gym rat swagger. Designer hoodies. Brooke, 28. Influencer blonde. Phone permanently in hand. Weekend visit, Victor said. 2 weeks later their U-Haul was parked out front. They're between leases, Mom explained, eyes pleading. We have the room. I came home from a late deployment to find the shop gutted. Dad's pegboard gone. Mirrors bolted to walls. Treadmills where his workbench used to be. Trent shrugged. Your dad's stuff was just collecting dust. Jess. Victor said it's cool. That was the first fracture. The violations came faster after that. Brooke convinced Mom the built-ins were dated. Contractors showed up while I was in Seattle for a conference. I walked in to find the living room bookcases. Dad's pride. Dovetail joints. Hand-rubbed finish, being pried off the walls like they were scrap. Luxury vinyl plank, Brooke chirped. Waterproof. Modern. I lost it. This is my house. Victor stepped between us. Calm as a priest. Technically. Sweetheart. It's your mother's home, too. And as her husband, I have a say in how we live. He'd married her 3 months earlier at the courthouse. No big wedding. Just a quick, I do, and a champagne toast in the backyard Dad planted with his own hands. They held a moving sale while I was out of town. Dad's snap-on tools. The ones he'd collected for 30 years. Sold for pennies. The jewelry box he carved for Mom's 40th gone. The Camaro? Listed on Craigslist for quick cash to fund updates. I confronted Victor in the kitchen. That car is mine. He smiled the way a shark smiles. Family asset. Jess. We're all in this together now. That night I sat in my childhood bedroom listening to the house I loved being dismantled around me. Mom whispering to Victor that maybe I should find my own place for everyone's peace. The slow poison had begun. But Dad had left me more than wood and nails. He'd left me a letter in the hidden drawer under the workbench, the one only we knew about. Jess, if you're reading this, things have gone sideways. Your mother's heart is too big. Michael Russo has the real paperwork. Document everything. Patience wins. Love. Dad. Michael Russo, Dad's old attorney, didn't blink when I walked in. Figured you'd show up eventually. Victor's been sniffing around the title company, asking about quitclaim deeds. The PI report arrived a week later. Victor Lang, 3 bankruptcies, 2 ex-wives left destitute, a trail of mechanics' liens and angry subcontractors. Trent, multiple DUIs, 1 assault charge. Brooke, identity theft conviction. And the security camera Dad installed in the rafters? Cloud footage of Victor on speakerphone. Once the daughter signs over her share. We pull the equity line. Flip this place for $850 easy. The old lady's just the key in the door. I stopped arguing. Started smiling. Started helping pick out new light fixtures. Started nodding when Victor bragged about modernizing the property. They thought they'd broken me. They had no idea I was loading the gun. Phase 1. Bulletproof documentation. Every receipt. Every photo. Timestamped video of Victor forging Mom's signature on contractor agreements. Footage of Brooke throwing Dad's hand-quilted blankets into the dumpster. The Camaro's VIN on Craigslist screenshots. Phase 2. Financial news. Victor had opened 3 credit cards in Mom's name. $52,000 balance. Forged a home equity loan application claiming co-ownership. That's federal wire fraud. Kids. FBI loves that stuff. Phase 3. Public execution. I leaked the story not as family drama, but as historic preservation outrage. Portland Tribune ran it. Local craftsman gem raised by new resident. City Landmarks Commission investigates. Before and after photos. Victor's face blurred but recognizable to anyone who mattered. Dad's old crew, guys who'd framed houses with him for decades, started calling. Jess. If that hack touched Tom's work, we'll testify for free. I played the perfect prodigal daughter. Even let Victor think I was ready to sign a quitclaim for a small settlement. Scheduled the meeting at Michael's office for a Thursday. Wednesday night, he was on the phone in the kitchen. Volume up because he thought I was out. By tomorrow, we own it outright. Daughter finally caved. Told you she'd fold. Thursday morning. Conference room. Victor in a new sport coat. Mom beside him holding his hand. Still believing he was her savior. Trent and Brooke in the corner. Scrolling Zillow for vacation homes. Michael slid the first document across the table. Mr. Lang, are you aware that filing a false ownership affidavit to obtain a $300,000 home equity loan is a federal felony? Victor's tan disappeared. Mom's phone buzzed, credit card alerts she'd never seen. $52,000. She looked at him like he'd grown horns. I pressed play on the workshop recording. Victor's voice. The old lady won't know what hit her until the check clears. Mom stood up. Voice steady for the first time in years. Get out of my daughter's house. Security escorted them out in cuffs. Trent tried to swing. Ended up on the floor. Brooke screamed about lawyers. 2 weeks later, Victor tried the Hail Mary, a community intervention on the front lawn. 30 people, church folks, cousins, neighbors. Victor on the porch with a megaphone. Tears in his eyes. Talking about misunderstandings and grief-driven decisions. Mom stepped out carrying the evidence box. She held up the printed screenshots. The credit card statements. The FBI case number. The Tribune article with Victor's mugshot. The crowd went quiet, then started drifting away. Pastor apologized on the way to his car. Aunt Karen couldn't look me in the eye. Jim Patterson, Dad's foreman for 23 years, stood with 6 guys in Carhartts. Jess. We'll restore it at cost. For Tom. Victor never came back. Restraining order. Criminal charges. Civil suit for conversion of property. He's looking at 5 to 7 in federal prison. Trent took a plea for theft, 18 months. Brooke got probation and 500 hours community service. 6 months later, the house gleams again. Original fur floors back. Bookcases rebuilt from Dad's drawings. Workshop smells like fresh sawdust and tung oil. The Camaro sits under the carport. Chrome sparkling. Engine ticking as it cools after I took Mom for a drive up the gorge. She's different now. Runs a support group for widows. Warns them about love-bombing contractors with perfect teeth. Grief makes you blind, she tells them. Don't sign anything until the fog lifts. I kept my promise to Dad.
The house stands.
The legacy stands. And every time I turn the key in that old Camaro, I hear his voice. Some things are worth fighting for.
Jess.
Even when the whole world tells you to walk away. Victor thought silence was surrender. He never met a Harlan who learned patience from a man who measured twice and cut once. The house is quiet tonight. Porch light on. Wind chimes Dad hung in 1985, still singing. Some battles aren't loud. They're just precise. And permanent.